How's it going, YouTube? Today, we've got a pretty interesting video. We've got the Squid Industries branded Triton V2 in pink. Pretty nice little knife. And we've also got the Baliplus Triton Clone. So let's get right into it. First things first, I want to talk about the specs on the Squid Industries Triton V2. So first of all, like most Squid Industries knives, this runs on washers. The Squid Industries knife also has this interesting pattern on the blade, which I really like for trainers, just to have kind of a milled out type of blade. These handles are also rounded, if you can tell. Like, that isn't completely square. One of the interesting features of the Triton are these milled out sections on the handles. It allows for pretty good grip when you're flipping. All that space just milled out and your finger can really get in there. Triton V2 is also an aluminum channel balisong with almost like speed channel here, but no, it's just kind of a full milled out handle. Flipping wise, the Squid Industries Triton V2 is really good. An interesting thing I want to point out with Squid Industries trainers is that they use this interesting finish on these handles that allows it to be really grippy, but also like slippery at the same time. If you've ever touched a microfiber cloth, that's kind of what it feels like. It's like you're getting microscopic grip on there. Now for the Baliplus Clone version. One thing I wanted to mention about the clone version is Baliplus actually makes two different types of Triton V2 clones. It's kind of weird, but this is the clone that runs on bearings. One thing that's interesting about this being on bearings is that the original Triton V2 from Squid Industries is actually on washers, so it makes the knives feel completely different and almost like two separate knives altogether. The Triton V2 is my main flipper right now, so I'm really used to how it flips, and this thing just feels completely different. One of the biggest differences between the two are the handles. On the original Triton, these corners are actually rounded, but on this clone version, it's more square shaped, which feels a little weird when you're doing fans. It's not as round, so you can definitely feel the difference there. Now, on the sides of these handles, there's no milling whatsoever, so you definitely feel, especially on a channel balisong, you need some kind of texture here. Finish wise, I don't have anything particular to say. It's kind of just a glossy-ish finish. Slick finish. It's not as grippy as the actual Squid Industries finishes. Now for the blade here, you got these weird kind of milled out sections, but it's not all the way through. It makes this weird texture, which I don't think I'm the biggest fan of. Like, that just seems a little odd for a blade design. Both designs run on Zen pins, which the clone is screwed in, while Squid Industries are actually press fit. So that's a small difference right there. Other than that, if we get a comparison side by side, they look really similar. Looks wise, without the hardware, they're very similar. This is what the clone looks like hardware wise, and this is the Squid Industries hardware. But yeah, let's get into flipping. If you've ever flipped a ball bearing balisong, you know what it kind of feels like. It almost feels like it's rolling in your hand as you flip it. Now, some people like that feeling. Me personally, it's like I have almost less control because it's not as predictable really. If you learn to flip on something like a washer balisong or a bushing balisong, chances are ball bearing balisongs are going to feel kind of strange to flip. I personally enjoy flipping bearing balisongs on occasion, but it's kind of like a sweet treat, you know? It's not the main course. The main course as in like the old reliable, you know, like a Crate Kraken or a Volt Pro. Now strange flippers like ball bearing balisongs to me is more like a side dish, you know? You're not going to do it every day, but on occasion, it's just something new, you know, just to break up the monotony. I don't know, whatever it is. I almost forgot to mention prices for the two knives. This Baliplus Clone I think is around $35 off of Balisong Life. That's where I got it. And the actual Triton V2, this is gonna sound a little strange because my Triton has an interesting backstory to it, but I'm not sure off the top of my head what the price is, so I'll leave it right here on the screen. But yeah, I got my Triton 2 used off of eBay on an auction, which is, I got it for a steal, honestly. I got this thing for, I think it was $60, which is kind of crazy because I think these go for like over 100. When I placed the bet, I honestly wasn't expecting to win since it was so cheap, but I'm really glad I did. This thing turned out to be one of my favorite flippers, and I wasn't even expecting it to. I had no real expectations because I had the Mako at the time, and to be honest, this flip's really similar to the Mako, but it doesn't pinch as much. Yeah, okay, so the Triton V2 definitely feels way more balanced when flipping. Like, it actually feels like a well-balanced balisong. These handles feel a little bit lighter, actually, which is strange because you'd think it'd feel heavier with this all this material that wasn't milled out, but no, I think it's just, I don't know what it is, but it feels heavier. If If you don't know about clones and how they're made, so they're produced in China by factories that have different parts milled at different places. They have lots of different factories, so they can get the blade milled at one place, bushings from another place, handles milled somewhere else and anodized somewhere else, and they combine it all into one little package. Labor costs in China are also much lower than the United States, so that is where a huge part of the price decrease is from. One thing I've noticed as well in the Baliplus Clone community is people shaming others for buying clones. Now I understand why people would be upset from others buying clones, but I don't think shaming or arguing about clones in general is the right solution. Like maybe someone wants to flip a Monarch or a Tsunami, but they don't have the money to actually afford these knives. And that's completely understandable. Not everyone, like this is an expensive ass hobby. That's just my opinion though. Everyone has their own opinions, so let me know in the comments what you think. It's definitely a difficult problem to solve. But yeah, that's kind of just my thoughts on the Triton V2 clone and the clones in general. Whether you support or hate clones, one thing's for certain, they're here to stay. It's likely something that we'll all just have to get used to at this point. But yeah, that's my comparison on the Squid Industries Triton V2 versus the Baliplus Clone version. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.